When ISIS seized control of much of Syria and Iraq in 2014, their stated goal was to create an Islamic caliphate that would dominate the entire region with their extremist ideology. It took nearly 5 years for world powers to retake that territory, and even to this day, the scars of war are everywhere in northern Syria, reminders of the brutality of that conflict. Mohammed Ahmed has seen it firsthand, having been shot 6 times while fighting ISIS as an Iraqi soldier.
You see this piece of metal, like pipe, and they cut it, and they weld it, and they make a small hole, and they put explosive stuff inside it, and they make a charger inside it, and with wire, and they bomb like armored or tanks or people, and these things make like huge explosion. And they make houses like the factory for make car bombs, landmine, and IED, a lot of stuff they make.
Walking around this abandoned village in northern Syria, it's easy to see how the millions of people who have fled this conflict and gone to other places like Europe and Turkey and even the United States probably are not going to want to come back anytime soon. The animals are gone, their homes are practically destroyed, the wells have dried up, and moving back to this area would be very, very difficult. So that just means that it's going to continue to be costly to the entire world as more and more people become wards of the United Nations, the World Food Program, and other organizations that have to end up feeding these people to help them survive. This is the Kobani River Valley. It's one of the last places in Syria where there are ancient Christian villages that have been here for more than 1,000 years. But the Turks are doing their best to push the last remaining Christians out of this valley, using the Free Syrian Army to do so, and another method. You see here one of the last pockets of water in this river. If I turn around this way, you can see that the river has run dry, and that's because the Turks are cutting off the water north of here in order to drive out these Christians.
It's so hard for our people without water, without electricity, without anything. They can't live in their houses, they can't go to their churches because the FSA and Turkey are shelling our people directly on their houses and their farms.
So the nearest point where the enemy is at this moment is about 1.5 kilometers that direction, in another little village with nothing between here and there. So there are snipers that will sometimes engage from there. You can see right over here evidence of a really large artillery shell that landed in the road and made a big crater. There's pieces of shrapnel laying all around. So it's obvious why the people cannot continue to live here, and that's kind of the point.
There was a lot of civilians here, maybe 14, 15 families, but since the last week they left. They come here mornings and they left evenings. It's a problem.
It's the same ideology, but in different uniform, in different names. Before was ISIS, now we have the FSA, so it's the same.
There's shelling ongoing right now in the town of Deir Dawa, just a couple kilometers from the Turkish border. This is most likely Turkish forces that are shelling this village that was made up of Christians and Assyrians. Once the headquarters of the self-proclaimed ISIS Caliphate, the city of Raqqa is still picking up the pieces after the terror group lost the city in 2017. But citizens say things are far better than before.
It's been more better for the last time because we have safety, the safety for our children. This is our city. We love her. We love our city. We can't leave our city.
When ISIS was in control, they never knew if they'd live to see another day.
Die everywhere, and the ashes of people everywhere. The horrible thing in every minute in Raqqa. We can't think of anything more than bread.
But threats remain. ISIS has begun taking ground for the first time since 2017 and making coordinated attacks against civilian and military targets.
I lost everything, my culture, my language, my land, my church, my graves. They are shilling my graves too. So even the deaths are during this war. So I don't have anything to lose. I should fight. I should make this war to protect my family, protect my cousins, protect my friends, protect my land, protect my history, my language, everything I have.
This is the city of Kobani, and it saw some incredibly fierce fighting back in 2014, 2015 during a 5-month siege by ISIS. And the Kurdish forces eventually successfully drove them out. This was ISIS high watermark, but as you can see, there were some unbelievable battles here in that process. Now, ISIS is starting to reconstitute in Syria down south of here in a place called Deir ez-Zor. And so we're starting to see some attacks, and that means we may very well see ISIS resurging around the world in the months to come. Here in northeast Syria, Kurdish fighters are staying vigilant, determined not to let ISIS repeat the horrors of 2014. But these developments are especially concerning as the U.S. looks to end combat operations in neighboring Iraq, leaving many in the region fearing a repeat of the disastrous pullout in Afghanistan, and citizens are hoping American foreign policy won't leave them on their own.
Give you the hope. We looking to the hope. Right. Thank God. Now, a little hope, but it's good.
From Raqqa, northern Syria, I'm Chuck Holton.